afternoon, students, visitors, and faculty colleagues. I've got a slightly different topic, just connected with the first talk that was on genomics. Sam Santosh spoke as if you are all biologists who are very conversant with the word genomics and genome and all that, which I know you are not. So I thought I'll basically explain to you a little bit about what is genomics and what it can do for you. And also, because I'm an academician now, and how our education system can actually reshape, reposition for the future revolution. If you take a simple sentence out of what Sam was saying, this century belongs to biologists. So biology is what matters in this century is biology, like what mattered during the end of the last century was computers and programming and so on. So we'll start. So what is genomics? It's fall under the genome research, falls under the field of genomics, a branch of molecular biology and key area within biotechnology. Genomics focus on the structure, function, evolution, mapping, editing of entire genomes, which are an organization's complete set of DNA. Talked about DNA sequencing of the human genome and so on. This field utilizes high throughput DNA sequencing and bioinformatics. That's where people like you, people like me, and computer scientists all over the world can actually pitch in to analyze and understand the complex interactions within a genome. Talking about the cost of genome sequencing has come down from approximately $10,000, $12,000 to $100 per person. The medicines required, like he was talking about an SMA medicine which was costing about 18 crores. Why does it happen? Because of what I'm going to say. Again, a little bit, genetics focuses on individual genes and their inheritance. Genomics examines the entire collection of genes and their interactions within an organism. So this is just to introduce you to the concept. I'm not going to elaborate further. My topic is completely different. But just to connect with you. Applications in medicine include figuring out disease mechanisms, developing personalized medicine, and new therapies. Applications in agriculture include disease-resistant varieties and highly productive seeds. In fact, the human population, as you know, we have already crossed around 640 crores or so. You need a lot of food to eat. And also along with that, we have a lot of diseases which has been bothering us for generations and so on and so forth. So to my mind, this particular industry or this particular field has always been, left out in the race, in the modern race. For example, we see all computer companies developing business software and so on. I have a slide here where the top 50 companies where software engineers work, and none of them is a biotech company. So I'll show that slide. So this is what I'm coming to. Lack of trained manpower in the area. There are no manpower trained. We are training people to be programmers. We are training people to be engineers, computer programmers, all right. But we do not have enough people in this particular sector. Like I was just looking at the number of engineering seats versus medical seats. There are 14 lakh engineering seats in India and just 112,000 medical seats, MBBS seats in the country. So that's just about 14 times more engineers are being produced. And if you look at the remuneration which MBBS people get after their graduation, it's a pittance. So everybody is lured into software because software is what that pays. And that also business software. So this is something which is making genome sequencing and gene-based studies very costly, and it actually kills, or rather slows down the kind of progress which we should be having otherwise. So we need software programmers with a background in biology. We want statisticians with a background in biology. Today's MBBS syllabus, it doesn't have any maths. Like for example, in Kerala or in India, if you want to write the NEET exam, you don't have to study maths. You need to study physics, chemistry, biology, and zoology. That's it. But in many developed countries, that's not the case, because doctors also need to learn maths. And I would say, I would go one step ahead, and they should be learning statistics, they should be learning programming, and they should also learn pure mathematics, because that's a you need to develop modern gene therapies. In fact, I've come across, long back, I've come across a course in Harvard where they offer a PG program, an MD program rather, not a PG program, an MD program, where they take engineers from MIT, engineers from Harvard engineering schools, and they offer this program for medicine. So it's highly mathematical driven. Well, that is a very, very small thing, but we can actually need, or we have the people to actually develop this area. So here is a slide I was talking about. Look at this. This is the world's top 30 or 40 companies. You just see most of these things are familiar. Is there any biotech company here? No. You have Microsoft, Google, IBM, Apple, Adobe, Cisco, Salesforce, Oracle, Amazon, so on, so on, so on. Where is that company which actually helps you have a better physiological life? Zero, nothing. And these companies take in the hordes of engineers or software coders, and they pay them very nicely, and they're happy. They're happy because they get money. And the other side of the spectrum, the biotech companies, the biological research companies, they face acute shortage of manpower. So these are some of the top genome companies in the world, and these are all what they got. Illumina just having 10,000 employees. Myriad Genetics is 2,300 employees. Thermo Fisher is little big, 1,25,000. Infosys is having more than that. And Agilent Technology. These are companies which nobody has heard. Have you heard about these companies? But these companies, all of you have heard. The reason being, the business software market, the commercial software market or the commercial entities actually lure all the worthwhile people in any country, for that matter in India, and they do it for their own good. You can't stop it. So how do you actually make this shift back to, or rather, a good chunk of the students to like biology and do research in that area? That is a challenge. So you might need some regulatory framework to lure these people initially. After that, these companies can do it for themselves. So this is what I've said. 14 lakh engineering seats and 1,12,000 MBBS seats only. Even my own niece, who wanted to be a doctor when in school, dropped that idea because it doesn't pay. You do an MBBS degree, you probably will be doing as an intern some 10,000, 15,000 salary. But you do a computer science engineering degree, you might get jobs offers with 1 lakh, 2 lakh per month salary. So she dropped that idea. And then she is right now pursuing her engineering. So like her, there will be thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who would have left this field, not because of lack of love for this field, but because of lure of money. That's where we need to actually do something. And if you look at India's case, right now, fortunately, America is in a mess. So if the Indian government or the Kerala government actually wants to focus here is a golden chance. And as Sam was saying, the genome research is not happening the way which others wanted it. The astronomical cost of medicines can come down drastically if we have the enough and more number of people. Remember, 14 lakh graduates. In 5 years, we have 70 lakh. In 7 years, we have 1 crore of people, technically or ideally, working in this field. And that can bring the cost of all genetic-based therapies and medicines to levels which you and me can afford. So here is that plan which, this is actually by the American, which they wanted, but I think it's very, very relevant for us also. Develop and support initiatives that provide early exposure and access to careers in genomics, which is what we are trying to do here. Though most of you have chosen your careers in business, you can always switch back and go to genomics. So generate interest in the area of genomics. Then develop and support training programs and networks that connect undergraduate, graduate education to careers in genomics, which we don't have right now in India. Even in the medical colleges, we don't have. Develop and support training, career development, research transition programs that lead to independent research and clinical careers in genomics. And evaluate progress towards achieving greater diversity in the genomics workforce. This is a small, tricky topic called genetic diversity, because I will not emphasize much, but what happens right now is most of the genetic researchers work with the Caucasian gene. Caucasian genes actually means the white person's gene. And there are not enough research which is done on the Asian, Chinese, and other and African genes. So one of the pitfalls in genome research in America, what they crib is they do not have enough diversity in their genome research, which is true. But we Indians, with large number of people around, and we can actually fill in this gap. And this is an exciting opportunity which can emerge, which can open up the next 5 to 10 years' time if the governments and the colleges and the universities actually take it up as a challenge and guide these people. You already know that there are not enough takers for engineering graduates. Many of them are don't get placements, and engineering seats are lying vacant. Remember, it's brilliant people, young blood, just doing nothing. Well, that's not very good. And on the other side, there is this exciting, emerging area where they lack people. So all we have to do is to some nice universities or some fine universities and governments and other organizations to focus on this, get these students in hordes, and make this an emerging and exciting area.